swine flu vaccination won't kill you, just cost an arm and a leg. Obama opens Race Row Beer Fest at the White House for drunks of all races. US-UK extradition treaty created in secret by fascists to fuck you from afar. Afghan war dead worth less than survivors of other wars of those responsible. Hello, terror suspects. Welcome to the fucking news. I'm high on life. Here are the headlines tonight. As the global pandemic of fear flu spreads across the world by media contact, endless repetition on TV, radio, newspapers and the internet, developed countries are preparing massive vaccination scams, programs to distract their population from slavery and mindfuck. That should be protect their populations from sickness and death. In the UK, 130 million doses of the vaccine have been ordered and mass indoctrination of the oppressed will begin soon. Mass inoculation of those at risk will begin soon. Here's a report from our medical correspondent, Sick Profitmonger. Swine flu may not have killed many people, but let's not worry about that. It's still going to make some people very rich. Although 20,000 African children die every day from easily treatable common illness, we don't give a fuck about them. Instead, the chance of one white industrial asset in 500,000 dying from swine flu is much more worrying. Swine flu, a vaccine marketer's dream. Scary but treatable. Dangerous but not deadly. Swine flu, I'll bet we can all afford to be cured. We asked the vaccine manufacturer if we could have a dose for free, but they said, fuck off, do you think we're a charity? So we asked Government Health Minister if the cost was necessary, given the low death rate from infection and the fact that the Taliban killed more people in Afghanistan last week than swine flu ever has. Well, what you've got to realise is that swine flu won't be the last scary global problem that comes along. Soon, a scarier problem, needing more money from more people, will come along, and by that time we'll want everybody to be completely hoodwinked and subservient to any global institutions trying to inject them with shit and charge them for the privilege, you see. The internet is full of worrying tales of the vaccine being a poison or containing a mind control gene. Some say the elite of Earth plan to cull humanity to save the fake economy and assure their everlasting rule as elite, stupid, selfish, destructive monkey people. Some say we should fight them and resist one world government and population control, at least until nicer people step forward to rule over us, run the planet. Others say wop up a loo bop, a bim bam boo. Back to you, high on life. Thank you, Sick Profitmonger there, and we'll bring you more on how to be afraid of things that haven't happened yet as the story gets written. President Obama met with the protagonists of a race row in the White House over a beer. Harvard University professor Henry Lou Gates and Police Sergeant Jim Crowley met the president to discuss a controversy over race that erupted during an incident at the scholar's home. FKN NEWZ acquired exclusive footage of Obama at the event. Don't you crackers get it? The shoe's on the other foot now. I'm telling you, buddy, I'm taking care of business now. Any more fucking with the brothers, you're gonna have to deal with me, alright? Yeah. Now, you apologize to Mr. Gates, or I'll have the Secret Service work out on your ass until you till you get the right attitude, alright? President Obama there doing his bit for the use of beer in settling legal disputes. In a footnote to that story, we hear that all three drinkers have been spotted in a bar downtown ordering tequila and singing Yankee Doodle. In other news, the UK's extradition laws have been attacked as unfair by the human rights group Liberty. Liberty have called for a review of the deal. The treaty has been criticised because opponents say it is not reciprocal. The US does not need to present evidence to a British court to request extradition, while the UK still needs to present evidence to an American court. we spoke to former Liberal Democrat leader Ming Campbell to see if we could get him to call the US Nazi-fascist scum. Ming, are the American government Nazi-fascist scum?
American courts are willing to assume jurisdiction over individuals and over allegations of criminal behaviour on a far more wide basis than we are here in this country.
Yeah. But are they bullying oppressive tyrants with a penchant for torture and hypocrisy when it comes to freedom?
It's unfair because these treaties are supposed to be based on what's called the principle of reciprocity. That is to say, there's mutual obligations, and these mutual obligations should be the same in every case. The difficulty with this treaty is that if you're an American citizen, you can't be extradited to the United Kingdom unless the United Kingdom is able to show what's called probable cause. On the other hand, if you're a United Kingdom citizen, you can be extradited to the United States on the basis of suspicion.
Ming, I must press you on this question. Should we send innocent people to America on the say of some jumped-up office clerk who may be a fascist Nazi ballbag?
And I happen to know from some cases that people have been put under intolerable pressure to plead to a lesser crime on the ground that if they didn't, they'd be charged with something which could easily result in them spending the rest of their life in an American prison. In addition to that, the prosecuting authorities in the United States will say, if you don't plead guilty, then we will actively resist any effort to repatriate you to your own country and to serve part of your sentence there.
Thank you, Ming Campbell. A Home Office spokesman said there were no plans to review the Extradition Act and that, quote, the US is a trusted extradition partner with a mature legal system and it guarantees appropriate safeguards within its domestic courts. Oh, that's a good one. In the UK, the propaganda mill has its work cut out for it, spewing chunky dribbly pish about 3 wars spanning 100 years, all in one day. Here's our security correspondent Sebastian Armstrade Arslicker. Today is a day many have waited for, as the Iraq War inquiry is launched to end speculation as to its legality, to shut up whinging relatives of the dead, and to stop any further questioning of the UK's role in murdering millions of Arabs. We're told it will be as open as possible, with hearings televised and streamed online, and that although there was no legal basis in the inquiry to make people give evidence under oath, if someone were foolish or wicked enough to tell a serious untruth in front of the inquiry, their reputation would be destroyed utterly and forever. It won't happen, said Sir John, chair of the inquiry. Of course it won't, Sir John. Absolutely. You'd have to be a binder to lie about those lies you told to start the fake war. That will never happen. Then there's the Afghan war. As more coffins parade through the streets of Wotton Bassett, members of the public line the streets to jeer and insult our rubbish soldiers for not having killed enough towel-headed sand peasants before getting killed themselves. Here at the FKN NEWZ, we wondered who hasn't died. The people who started the war are not dead. Those who profited from the war in the arms trade are not dead. The lying politicians who support our murder of innocent civilians are not dead. But we must go on in Afghanistan because we're told it's the heart of terrorist hatred for the West on Earth. And it's not possible to even discuss bombing the US or UK anywhere but Afghanistan. No, not even in an Amsterdam bedsit or a Saudi palace. Only in Afghanistan is it possible to be a terrorist. And that is why we must kill all Afghani people. Taliban. Finally, the funeral of a man who didn't die in a war, but lived on through several. Forced to join the army as a young boy, he killed many people on behalf of the Queen. He didn't die himself, thus avoiding making the ultimate sacrifice and relieving us of the duty of owing him a great deal of anything. The Queen has said Mr. Allingham was one of the generation who sacrificed so much for me. Us. Thanks, and now for the weather. Rich, powerful people rule the world, they always have, always will, and there's nothing you can do about it. Have a nice weekend.